Welcome to the Undergrowth podcast. Today I had the great chance to sit down and talk to the guys from the Høstsabbat festival here in Oslo. We talked about their 8 years as a festival, how it's been and how it's going to be in the years ahead. And we talked about music, life, and everything else that has to do with running a festival. So, without further ado, here is our Høstsabbat episode.
So welcome to Undergrowth, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The first pure podcast that I'm doing on this channel. We've done a couple of shows before, but this is kind of how things are gonna be from now on. I'll put on some shows in between, but it's this is where it's all good. So you guys are What are your titles in Høstsabbat really? Are you like festival managers or booking? I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, kind of. Both of us are kind of festival managers. Ole is the head of booking, but we're kind of not figure out the titles yet. So
Jens is probably the head of
we're kind of the same.
Yeah, kind of the same, but with different pinpointed qualities. Maybe he is very good with structure and economy and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you, Jens,
welcome.
We've known each other for a long time, and when you moved to Oslo, you went to study this concert management, cultural management thing.
Yeah.
What was that?
No, that was actually a private school. That's culture management. I guess that's the right translation. So it was this. What should I say? West Side school called BA.
Economic school where all the high class kids go.
It wasn't much mustache and wood shirts there. No. So, but it was a good way to learn the business side of things. Yeah. So I came strong out of it. I felt in the business side of things because I weren't that into it before that.
Yeah. So
I think that has been a big advantage for us from the get-go. Actually, that you felt comfortable dealing with money and stuff like that.
Yeah, it might be. Besides the studies, I also worked at the student society in the concert group there, so called the Betong. So I was booking manager and production manager, and also had the economic responsibility during those 3 years. So I was very, very involved there, and also had like a concert series. Yeah. Where me and Ole met, which we maybe come back to later.
Yeah. Because when you were studying this is where you kind of came up with the whole concept of Høstsabbat, right?
Yeah, kind of. It was right after the studies actually. I had been working there for 3 years. And had got a job in Sony Music, of all things. And I had booked Ole's band, old band Tombstones, for a gig. And we have kind of been talking about this earlier as well, that we must do something for the society, because we felt I booked a lot of bands in the Høstsabbat genre at Chateauneuf. And Ole liked it a lot, and also contributed with bands that we could book and so on. So we had been speaking about it for some time, that we had to do something more about it. Yeah. So when I was done, done studying, we decided together with some other friends of us as well.
Yeah.
that we should make a festival to kind of make a brand out of it and make it like a bigger thing for especially the Norwegian scene. Was important for us back then, because we knew it was a lot of great bands that got too little
international attention.
Thank
maybe?
you. Yeah.
That was the main motivation, I think, from the get-go to highlight the Norwegian scene, because we felt that from the years between 2010 up until 2013 there were a lot of things happening all around Norway.
The scene was really active with the bands Høstsabbat is booking. So we felt there was a really good potential there for branding that scene to the rest of Europe at least, and of course the rest of the world as well. But we started it kind of like, let's go, let's do this. It wasn't like super serious, but we definitely wanted to do something for the scene. So
for sure.
And that leads me to the first this first poster that I'm putting up on the screen here. That was the first year that you had this festival at Betong, where you were like the leader of the student group.
Yeah,
exactly.
It made it cheaper.
Because but you got a very good lineup of bands here.
Thank you. I think so too.
How was it that you booking this festival? Like, what did you learn the first year that you tried to do this at this scale?
The first year, I think we knew a lot of these bands from before. I had booked some of them, and Ole definitely knew several of them, and a couple of the guys in those bands also contributed to starting up Høstsabbat. So it was a small society, especially those bands played a lot together and went to the same pubs and stuff. So it was quite natural actually to set the lineup. The most of it, I felt. Yeah,
me too. When I look at the lineup now, you can probably reach out to all the bands by 3 key people or something that knows. So you cover the whole spectrum easily on those bands. And I feel we also caught the nerve on what was happening in Norway in 2013.
Yeah, definitely.
With this lineup.
And a lot of those bands are keeping it up today as well.
Yeah.
And has become quite well known in Europe.
So how many of these bands are Norwegian, and how many are?
All of them.
All of them are Norwegian.
Yeah.
That was the concept.
That was the concept for the first year. Exactly.
There's a couple of Swedes in Brutus though, but rest in peace, Jokke.
Definitely.
Indeed. So, but after doing the festival the first year, you probably learned a few things. So you get on to this one, which is the next year. And what changes did you make going on to the second year in terms of like how to run a festival? You probably got a little bit smarter doing this.
Rent proper backline, I think, was the main lesson after the first year.
Definitely. I remember the first year we just borrowed it from friends and our own stuff, and
it worked out, but it was
not all of it. I remember
logistical
broken
battles.
amps and stuff during the
and drums and everything.
And drums.
But they had lots of good gear in the backline room. Shot enough.
It helped us out, but that was definitely a big step up for the next year.
Yep.
When we started renting, and we've been doing it with the same guys ever since.
Yep.
Gamle Oslo backline.
Yep.
Fantastic guys.
Best guys.
best guys.
And that is Ylvis Saker from Ulver, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
It's,
And his brother.
yeah.
So go rent from them. They are great.
Very, very nice.
In retrospect, that lineup is probably the one I'm the most proud of. I think we were forward-leaning.
Yeah, definitely. It was several things that happened this year. We added a new day because we actually were supposed to have 2 days this year as well. And obviously, as you can see from the lineup, we had international bands. Monolord had their first gig outside of Sweden.
Oh.
Very happy with that,
Or
actually.
at least that's how Gothenburg too.
Yeah.
Like their first show ever outside their hometown.
Exactly. Ole's great work there. But yeah, we got an offer for this job gig. I think it was before we released the whole thing.
Yep.
But yeah, then we just decided it was Job and Paul Bearer, and we added a couple of extra bands as well to make it a full day. So that was great. The first and last time we did 3 days, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But it was both of us has full-time jobs besides this and bands and other stuff, so it became a lot of work. And the 2 days we felt that was kind of enough for this concept. It was fun with 3 days, but a lot of people are traveling from other places in Norway and Europe, and then they need to add more weekdays.
Yeah.
And we liked kind of having that weekend concept of 2 days.
Yeah, I agree.
A little bit easier to handle.
Yeah. Yeah, because I went to this. This was my first Høstsabbat as well.
Yeah.
This was the year. Yeah, what was the
2014. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had been living in Oslo for half a year by this time. And I remember I saw Beglomeg for the first time.
Yeah.
And because and I
Great
asked
gig.
you about it because you had booked in like tried to do something alternative type of stuff on like this little stage there.
Yeah.
And what was the thought behind that?
No, we've always had a thought, especially since that year. That was the first year were kind of more similar bands.
Yeah.
Of course, there were some diversification there as well, but from there on, we wanted to have broader genres in Høstsabbat.
Yeah.
We've always listened to, both of us likes a lot of genres, and we like more in what should I say? More like psychedelic bands and people that tries to do new stuff.
Yeah.
Just push the boundaries a little bit.
Push the boundaries, do some jazzy stuff with some heavy stuff in it and all that things. We've always liked bands that tries to do something, that does something else.
Yeah, something that's a little fresh.
Exactly, and that clears up your mind a bit, or how you can say it. But it's fresh, especially on a lineup like this, where you have a lot of heavy bands. It's great to mix in something that just open your mind a bit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
what's this? I haven't heard this stuff before. So we liked that idea. To just put in some bands that could give people a little bit of shock, or at least a little bit of like, oh, this was new to me.
For sure. And I think the progressive, like the prog rock element is manifested pretty clear in 2014 with Arabs in Aspic and Side, which we have kept.
Yeah.
Or at least try to
The prog
on
element,
every edition.
definitely.
After this one.
Beglomeg may be the only band that year that was kind of that experimental. But
they will be far-fetched on every lineup because you never know what you're going to get. So
true. But it was really fun, a great gig, and we tried to have a band like that, or 2 or 3 on each lineup since then.
Yeah. And something else is, I have a couple of notes here that I want to ask you for like every poster that we touch on.
Yeah, and we have to mention Linda at least when we come to this year, because she's been with us since the beginning with the logo and
yeah,
stuff.
because Linda is the graphic designer that makes all the posters and all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
She's been making most of them.
And Trine Grim,
Yeah.
also a big shout out to her.
For sure.
Those two has been like a killer pair on the graphic side of Høstsabbat.
And Christian Valvo in the beginning, because the first one, he made the first one, and that was without the logo. We've been used ever since this one, because he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bit fun, or I don't know if it's fun, but Linda actually sent that logo to us as a Facebook message to the page. We didn't know her at that time, so it was after the first year. She just made that logo and said, "Hey, I made this logo or graphic thing for you. Just use it if you want to." And ever since we've been using it. We loved it.
Yeah.
So and she's been with us as well, doing posters and merch and all kind of stuff. So great.
That's great, because like that's also a good thing to say to everybody out there who's trying to get a leg inside on
Exactly.
On something.
Really good point.
Like it's a real world example that it actually works to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And
True,
I'll make sure
indeed.
I'll put the Instagram of Trine Grim and Linda
Yeah.
on the
Do it.
screen here.
Yeah.
So
Do so.
that's gonna be awesome. What's your favorite show from this lineup?
From that
This-
lineup?
For me, I think it's Undergrowth. I think that show is one of my favorite shows in the whole Høstsabbat history. Actually, that year they had Mo as a backing band, and they leveled the place completely.
I thought the same. But I also think Monolord actually did a really great gig that year.
Yes.
It was right after they released their first album.
Yeah.
So it was a really
Yeah, yeah.
good vibe in the room. And the first time they played out, you could just feel it. It was...
Everybody knew Empress Rising
Yeah.
at that time, because that single went ahead of the band.
and they were, since we booked them, they had been quite a lot bigger
Yeah,
just
indeed.
in those months.
Indeed.
So I think it was really fun to see that we did that kind of booking. And that they just delivered in the way they did.
Yeah.
It was like everyone could see that these are
deserved it.
going places.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that was a great moment. Besides a lot of other great bands, of course.
Job was also great, of course. Kong were great. Ocean Chief. They had,
We could mention everyone.
yeah, we can mention everyone.
But yeah, Undergrowth was like the
Yeah.
highlight of the.
Yeah, for me at least.
Yeah.
Probably Job for the main
most.
goer, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah.
They play last on the Saturday or something.
They played
Sunday.
on the Sunday
Oh, okay.
together with Paul Bearer
Bearer.
and Grav Machine and Ocean Chief.
Yes.
One hell of a Sunday lineup.
All right, let's go on to the next one. And here is. This was the last year at Betong.
Yeah.
And here we have can't really see on my screen, but yeah, tell me what happened this year, since it was the last year at Betong. Was there a special reason for that?
No, it was several reasons, but we kind of wanted to, we were kind of
I think
Like-
we were
like
looking to get into the city center more.
yeah,
be
definitely.
honest,
It was really big, a lot of room out there,
Yeah,
and it didn't get that.
intimate feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Intimate feeling that we wanted. So we felt it was like, yeah, 2 people are going up
Yeah.
there and 5 people are going there, and it was so huge over there. So
exactly.
it didn't feel quite right. And we also had some struggles with the house, or yeah.
Because it's a
But they were really good to us.
Definitely, but suddenly 2 weeks before the festival, they put up like what's it called when you're painting yourself in gold and showing your muscles?
Oh, they had.
they had
what
the
was that?
It was
bodybuilder
yeah.
They did.
It's super
That
fun.
was so weird.
Yeah, they had it in the whole like second floor, so it was like super heavy metal people
I forgot
and
about that.
bodybuilders going
in bronze,
with their
bottle
thong out. It was a nice sight. But it was kind of like, it was a student place, so you never knew exactly what you could get. So after 3 years, we felt we just wanted to pay people a little bit more to know what we get and do it more professionally, but also get that intimacy.
Yeah, and I also think it at some level crashed with the Oktoberfest or some. It wasn't in October, but I remember.
Yeah, that might be.
Everything.
They might be rigging up.
Because the logistics crashed a little bit because there was so much.
There's so much happening at the student society, and they have like 25 different groups which does all kinds of events. So it's hard to plan how it's going to be, and we really like to have a bit of control over that. So we had a great time at Chateau Neuf, and fantastic people there, and they did all they could to help us out. So all creds to them, but it was just after 3 years we felt it was natural to move on.
But I missed the small stage at Club Scene at
that's
Chateau Neuf
great.
a whole lot. I love that stage.
Yeah, because at the Chateau Neuf there's this big stage in this huge amphitheater, and then you have the Beton, which is downstairs, the club stage with how many capacity?
150, is it? Or
I
maybe
think it's
more?
actually 250.
250, yeah.
Yeah,
or something
because
like
there's
that.
some great pictures from that. I'll drop that in video here.
And the sound there was always fantastic.
Yeah,
I love that stage.
I especially remember the hymn gig from this festival. That was like, I felt this was kind of a breakthrough moment for them.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's right, but it definitely felt like it. It sounded so freaking good, and it was they killed it. So that was definitely a highlight.
So what's your favorite show from this year?
The hymn show, probably.
Yeah, I think maybe actually.
And the Moo show. Yeah. That was my first time seeing them. And I just loved it. They started with my favorite song of them, some Burn Baby, or I don't remember from the 3 album, but it was insane. That's my 2 favorite shows.
It was also really fun to see Joy, actually.
Yeah. They stood out on that lineup because they delivered energy. Totally different to everything else. They were
so
great.
hard. It was. They killed it, and that was like a really small band when we booked them as well, and it was a little bit bigger, not that big, but they were just killing it. Fantastic
and
band.
Yuri Gagarin also were in the really early stages of the band.
True.
And about like food and drink on a festival, that's a little bit more of a general point. But still, like, a part of the experience on a festival is like it's not only what you get on stage; it's everything else as well.
Yeah.
How was it for you when you had the 3 years at Beton? Was it like, did you try it out, or like was it basically just the house? They have beer taps, just go.
And they get vouchers from the cafe. We had burger menus, veggie burgers, and we talk about the hospitality for the artists, right? Yeah,
artists and crowd.
Like, we made some special menus for the festival. So we had like Høstsabbat burger menu or whatever.
Really creative from our side.
We made some Høstsabbat specials, so they were really nice in that way. So we had like a Høstsabbat menu with like, I don't know if it was 6 or 7 items on the menu that was like more for our crowd.
Yeah.
But it was, besides that, it was the same beer and stuff that they offered as usual.
Yes.
We've been more into that the last years, but at that stage we didn't.
You didn't have the like, you couldn't book in like your own type of chef and like make like a festival menu and doing all that.
No,
But
unfortunately.
I think they did a great work at Chateauneuf with food, and the outside seating was really nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the whole place at Chateauneuf is it's a great place.
Yeah.
By all means.
It's just too big, maybe.
Yeah, like it's a great place where you can like drift around and like you can go to the merch street or whatever. Like there's plenty of space, but definitely like you guys have upgraded since.
A little fun fact with this as well is that I think we sent the wrong measurements for the poster. I'm not sure. She definitely made it in different measures, so we said we needed this measurement for the poster, so it was just shrumped in.
Oh.
So it looks like.
It makes sense when you say it. I didn't.
So it was stretched.
Yeah. It was more stretched, this poster. So it was just let's shrunk it in. Easy fix, no stress. Good one. Good old days.
You do it in paint. It's no.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well we'll get back to the food later because like that is probably something that you guys have put more thought in lately, but. Next year, after this one, then you found a new venue.
Yes.
And tell me where that was and why you chose it.
Yeah, this was Vulkan Arena and Pokalen. We had been to several gigs there before. They had also two stages as we used at Betong. They were really close, only a stair between.
That was the main criteria, I think, to have a place with
we needed
alternating stages.
Alternating stages, one big and one small. Vulkan had that. And they also had this intimate vibe. It's really like everything is close. Both the seating outside, everything is really like packed, which we really like. It's getting intimate. You need to kind of talk to people almost.
And the food truck right outside on the seating, and that was the first year that we really felt the Høstsabbat feeling, maybe.
I think so.
During the weekend.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. It was really, really good vibes this year, and
it was.
Betong was really nice as well, but it was more stretched. So people were they could sit in their own groups everywhere on the house. Here you kind of needed to sit next to other people. So I feel like it was more connected, everything.
Yeah, because like Norwegians, probably like everyone else that's not Norwegian that's watching this, don't really know how Norwegians are.
No, they're awkward and they keeping them to themselves until they're wasted.
Yeah, you need to like just sauce everybody up a little bit and then they come out of their shell a little bit. But I remember this one really well, and it's tighter, and like that venue is great for everything that it is, but then again, it's nothing special about the venue. It's a square room and a stair and a pub / club stage downstairs, and that's basically it. But then you had a year where you we can get into the lineup a little bit before we go on.
Yes,
because this show or festival What was your favorite show this year?
Made of Ale for me.
I think I
And
agree.
Somatics, those two. Unbelievable shows.
Made of Ale was a really good one, and I really loved Colvitt's show that year.
Yeah, indeed.
And Jeremy Irons also just killed it.
Yeah. Lots of good shows that year. Sienna Root too.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And
As all the years, we could mention all of them, kind of. But yeah, I often like the club gigs because they're so intimate, especially when you get that really close connection to the band, and they just deliver on top.
Yeah.
Those shows often stand out for me, at least. And
Indeed. And
I
I think
definitely did this year.
from this year as well, I think we also, not to brag over ourselves, but I think we caught Made of Ale at a really early stage in their career, because
they were quite new.
Heard about them.
Those days, they were quite new.
They are climbing the big stairs these days.
And
Fantastic
any
band.
special memories from Vulcan?
I played there.
Yeah, he did. Great show. Was that one of the first shows you guys had after Musikfest or something?
It was quite early, but we have done some shows before this. But yeah, that was fun. But also, the most special memory for me that year was just the whole vibe, I think.
Yeah, for me too.
Like the feeling you had there. It was so warm and inclusive.
Felt like a unity.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And we had a lot of people coming from abroad as well. We really felt that and could notice it easier when it was this intimate kind of setup.
Yeah.
So it was really fun to just feel the vibe there, and people talking together and getting known with new people, and we did as well.
Yeah.
So it was maybe the whole vibe with the festival was maybe my biggest memory.
Yeah, for me too. Without
Plus
that.
those club gigs, and yeah.
That's awesome, because then the next one.
Okay,
after that-
I have to say one thing about this as well, of course.
Go.
We failed on the price, the festival passes,
It's so
with 1 kroners, and we didn't
shit.
and we didn't mention it
665.
before after.
Can you believe that?
So that was a nice
It's
one.
insane.
We did it.
Maybe you're too focused on like getting it right, so
Yeah.
you don't get the humor in the middle.
Exactly. We're too serious.
It just doesn't make any sense.
This was also our first year where we got sponsored by Orange, by the way. So we got sponsored Backline, which is fantastic sponsorship, and we still have it.
Yeah.
So all
Question about sponsorship.
shout out to Orange.
Because with sponsorships, like, is that so that they provide like the basic backline on the festival, or is it like all the bands have to use?
No.
Oh,
Optional, but they provide one full stage backline with Orange.
Oh, all right.
But we juggle with the amps a little bit.
we add some, and we need to add some more. But we get a full setup on two stages from them.
Not on two.
Almost. We get that at the church at least. Maybe not this year. But it helps a lot.
Yeah.
It does. But we always if the band's required to use Marshalls and play on the big stage, of course they can use Marshalls.
Yeah. Because that was just when you get sponsored by a brand, then of course there's going to be like there's probably going to be someone who in the loop there that is insisting always, so you have to push back a little bit on it. But it's nice to hear that they.
Yeah, I think they've been really cool. They just,
super cool, and they have a relationship with the Gamle Oslo backline, so
exactly.
everything is really. We just
fell into place at once.
Yeah, we have a contact with Gamle Oslo Backline, and they fix everything. So it's really nice. But yeah, of course, we say we have this backline, and people need to use it, or if not, they have to bring their own stuff.
Yeah.
But changeover. Like the changeovers is of course much easier if they can use the same. So we try to have it quite the same backline if possible.
Yeah.
If
As
it's
long as
nothing.
like the cabs are up to
Exactly.
standard.
Exactly.
Like they bring their heads and their thumbs.
Exactly. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Mostly.
And we take pride in offering quality backline at Høstsabbat.
Yeah. It's really
big
important
thing.
to us.
Yeah.
Sound has always been really important to us. We are picky on the sound guys, or sound, not sound gals, sound people. Exactly, that's the 2021 term. So we've always put some extra into that from the start.
Yeah, that's great, because after this year, there wasn't one.
True.
And then there was like a small show.
Yeah.
Like a little.
Yeah.
Because they changed the owners at the Vulkan Arena. They
changed the owners.
They changed the owners, and they weren't that interested in going along with Høstsabbat, or I don't know. There were lots of factors, but
they pushed the prices really high, and it was kind of not the same people, so we didn't feel
different vibe altogether.
Kind of priced you out of the house.
Kind of, it was a price, and it was kind of the feeling we got as well from the new people. They weren't the last ones, or the one in 2016. We knew them from before, so it was really easy to work with them, and they liked us and we liked them, and that's how things go by often. But the new owners, we didn't knew them, they didn't know us, and they weren't interested in getting to know us, it seemed like. So it was kind of no dialogue on price and stuff. So then we tried to find separate places. We didn't want to go back to Betong.
No.
For that was like, then we kind of lose.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we had a couple of meetings with the Rockefeller guys, I remember.
Yeah, we had meetings with them, and we checked out some other places, but we figured out that it didn't feel right. Both. The economy, of course, needs to be right, and the feeling needs to be right, and the venue needs to be right. So we weren't quite. We didn't have a good place to go. We felt, or it wasn't right. So therefore, we decided to what's it called? Postpone, or we just didn't have any festival that year.
We didn't know what to do, I think is the fair thing to say.
It was like, we need to find a venue, but where should we be? That was the state we were in, and I think it was quite busy. Both of us were busy besides the festival as well. So that too, I think, was a part of it, that we had busy lives besides, and when things didn't make sense to us, we just said, okay, we skip this year, and we'll use some time to find the right place for next year.
And we also had a lot of changes in the people that were helping out with Høstsabbat that year too. So we started from scratch a little bit, and this year, at least it feels like that for me.
True.
Yeah, because you had Monolord, which had done a show earlier, and so you invited them back to kind of like keep the flame burning in a sense, and then.
This was like, it was actually a girl we worked with named Saga that was really pushing this event for us.
Thank you, Saga, for doing that.
So she was maybe in charge of kind of making it happen. But or she pushed us to do it.
Yeah, she did.
Like we should do
She
something,
really did.
and we were like, yeah, we will try to do something, but finally we did manage to get this lineup up. So we did a really intimate show at Krøsse with this fantastic lineup. Voconis was quite new at this time, especially in Norway, I think. They did a really great show, and everyone here delivered. Of course, I think it's a fantastic lineup.
Yeah. And even if it was a smaller crowd, it was the first time we experienced to sell out the tickets prior to the. So I think that was a motivational boost.
True.
To be honest.
True.
Yeah, because Krøsse is 250, 300.
No, it's less. I think it's 150 or so.
Oh, okay.
So it's not big.
Yeah, it's a small but good club.
Yeah, I love that club.
Me too.
So,
Great sound if you have the right guy behind the wheel.
Yeah. And yeah, great one.
Yeah. So that was fun.
And before we go on to the next year, we're going to do the sponsor message. Yay! Because right now, you guys at home should make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. And if you can, go to the Patreon and give us some money. Or do the YouTube membership, and make sure that you share the video to everybody who is interested, so that we can grow our channel and make sure that this type of content ends up in your YouTube feed in the future. So we are going to get back to the podcast right now. The next year, we get to the new venue where you are located today, which is Jakobskirka. It's a kind of a they call it a culture church, which it's no longer a church. I think it's like more regulated as a music venue or something.
Yeah.
Like, do you know a little bit more?
But I
about
think what's the English word for vigslet? But
I was wondering.
it's still that.
Yeah.
So they have regular church proceedings or services. I think they do.
At some Sundays, they have some masses.
But that's not their main focus.
No, they have all kinds of events there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of made for events now.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So it's a free,
But-
more of a free church, or what?
Yeah.
What
It's a
the
free
English
church,
expression
like
is?
Knut.
I don't know. Nice.
Yeah, but do they have any kind of? Did they have any kind of
No.
wishes on like what type of content you would be putting in there? Like, were they okay with like putting upside down crosses all over the place? Like, if you wanted to?
We had to go through them with that before Electric Wizard played in 2019.
Yeah, and
With the content, they had no problem because it's not like talking directly against Jesus or something. It's just images.
Exactly. They're really open, but they are still kind of managing a little bit what we do. But they really love what we do,
Yeah.
which is lucky for us.
And
But
we love all of them.
yeah,
The
yeah.
worst is
That,
I don't
so
think
much
you can
love.
find a better group. Yeah, but for really, it's so much love.
yeah. No, but it's been good from day one.
Yeah.
I kind of knew the guy responsible for the bookings there from before. He plays keys in several bands, so I knew him from that. And we also knew the tech guy, the guy Espen Stordrange,
Yeah, and Helge.
Tor Erik, which is the booking guy. Shout out to him as well.
Yeah, to all of them.
To all
working
of them,
there.
yeah. So that was how we got in touch with Tor Erik when we were out working together at another project. It was like, how much do you take for renting the church?
Yeah.
And it was not that bad. And then we got the tour, and we saw the basement. It was like, whoa, we could make, because the problem with the church was firstly it was one stage, so it was like how should we do this? Should we have a stage another place? Should we make a tent outside? What should we do? And we got a guided tour, and he showed us the basement and was like, we should have the second stage here. It's so doomy and gritty, that stage. It really fits those kind of bands.
Yeah, the crypt stage.
Yeah, the crypt stage, exactly. So it was like, have you had something here before? And they actually had some clubs and stuff. So they had like a PA. They had done it before, so they knew what they needed for these kind of events to happen. So it was easy to put up a budget for us, and then it was good to go from that.
Yeah, I think that we learned that they had the Prog festival there with the Tusperke guys. They had the first show, at least in my recollection, with some music relatable to what we would do, and people were giving the thumbs up for the acoustics and stuff like that, and that made it easier to move forward with. And of course the aesthetics with the church couldn't be better for what we
I remember Bilarm as well has done several gigs there. When I was there the year before, when we had been in touch with Erik to just check out some of the bands that played louder and with a lot of backline. I remember Skambankt and Hedvig Mollestad trio, and it sounded great, and the atmosphere was like, yes, let's do this.
You can't beat the atmosphere.
Exactly. So that was good to go.
Yeah. But a question about the sound in a church like this, because when you have this huge room, like the sound lingers for a long time. So you can't necessarily have full-on blast beats in the church. It's not going to resonate.
That
will never happen at the Høstsabbat event.
Yeah, so it kind of gives you the, like, it's perfect for the genre that you guys are operating within, which is like the slower, good stuff. And to be honest, like when I went there and saw the shows like this, there couldn't really be any better venue in Oslo at all for this type of thing. Like I really think you hit the bullseye on. Like the venue selection, it's absolutely amazing.
We agree.
Yeah, we agree.
But this year, what was your favorite show from this one?
I think it's hard to beat Amen Ra.
100% Amen Ra for me as well. I think that's the best gig I've seen at Høstsabbat overall.
Yeah,
actually,
this year is just highlights all the way
over.
down.
Yeah,
it was an emotional thing this year with Høstsabbat. I think because we really felt that what we've been aiming for, that we finally made that vision come to life. Some point?
At every point, I feel. It was like we finally found our place. It was like, this is our venue. This is where it's supposed to happen. The capacity was right. The venues was right. It sounded good on both stages. It was intimate. We got some tents outside for like merch and beer and food. It was like we got everything like we kind of dreamed of, or she said it was. We felt like the stars aligned.
But they did a little bit, and also
especially during the festival, it was like we just walked around and was yes,
this is something else.
This works.
And also the huge contrast between the crypt stage and upstairs. I think that really helps the attendees of the festival to experience what we do, because when you walk up from the crypt and upstairs, all of a sudden you have air everywhere. You can touch the sound more or less.
You change universes.
You change it. The universe has changed completely.
Totally agree.
And I think that's a huge advantage actually for when you only have two stages.
Yeah, the crypt stage is like it's hard to see the band if you're late down there, which is kind of, but it's kind of the vibe as well. You can just feel the sound, and that's kind of how it just should be. We got some complaints on it that it should be easier to see the band, and it's kind of understandable. And
but you will always have that kind of
exactly. It's a taste thing, and if you really want to see the band, be early. But anyway, you will get the feeling down there, even if you just see some heads and stuff. You really feel the music because it's so loud and it's really intimate. So I really love that stage.
Yeah, me too.
And as you said, we also work a lot with putting the right bands on the right stage.
Yeah,
that's important.
You always have to keep the acoustics upstairs in the church in mind when you book the bigger bands and when you program both days, because it has to fit the acoustics.
Yeah.
Definitely. So downstairs is perfect for having more upbeat, quicker bands, or what you said, more hardcore, technical bands.
Exactly.
But and upstairs we want more the slower side of things.
Like you mentioned the thing about having a tent outside for the food and the merch and all that type of stuff. Like, was that this was the first time you really had that? Was that like? Did you have any thoughts about that? And did you did that open up for being creative in some kind of sense?
I think it depends on the people we are working with. I think that the guys at Kulturkirken were more cooperative in that matter to help us create. I remember we also had the ideas when we were at Vulkan Arena to rent a food truck only for us, with a tent roof on top of it, just to narrow it down. But when we came to Kulturkirken Jakob, I feel that they saw the potential from the beginning and were more, maybe a little bit more cooperative to create a unique and compact atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. They have a partner called Real Mat, which does everything of their servings, like drinks and food. So we got in touch with them, and they sat together with them. We made a plan on what the thoughts we had, what did we want to have in the tent, how big it should be, how the budget was. They also hire in extra toilets and stuff like that, which we kind of hadn't done before, but it's not that many toilets downstairs, so we thought let's make some extra toilets so people don't need to queue.
Logistically at a festival, it's really important that all those basic things are covered.
Exactly. So those things come to mind as soon as we started the logistics for the church, and we really wanted a space to have some free time and hang out and talk to people, and have a break from all the sound, because it's a lot of sound in both those rooms.
Indeed.
It's hitting you hard. So it's really good to have that outside area where you get some fresh air, and it's a heated tent, so you don't freeze to death in there.
Because this is, for everybody that doesn't know, this is in the fall in Norway.
Exactly.
Not exactly warm and nice. It's not t-shirt and shorts weather like it is outside here right now.
At least not in the evenings.
Exactly.
But this also reminds me of the Roadburn Festival, because they used to have one of the stages in the church last time when I was there. It was in
true.
2014, 15, something like that. But did you have any connections with the Roadburn people from before?
Indeed,
definitely.
Yeah.
Do you want to take it?
Walter, was he on the 3 first festivals or just the 2? I remember it was
it
there
was-
on the All Norwegian edition and in 2014 the Job edition, but was that it? Or
It was the 2 first, I think. And the 3rd he wanted to, but some personal reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's for sure been a huge inspiration what they do at Roadburn, because it's a huge festival but still super small, and everything is at arm's length more or less.
We've always had Roadburn as a big inspiration, both the musical program and this how they do things.
Yeah.
They do things in a really proper way.
Yeah, they do.
And I think the stage kind of deserves it. So
Yeah.
we're trying to do things in a proper way. We do it professionally, and we try to make it right for both the bands and the audience and everyone.
Try and keep the rock and roll on the stage and not in the office.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's
But
so
it was
important because in the scene we are working with, the gap between the audience and the bands, to me it's not existing. So if you keep the bands happy, they will talk about it to their friends, and that will, in the end, make visitors want to come there. 'Cause
Exactly.
there's no gap. Actually.
But it was a really big boost to us that Walter came the first years.
Yeah.
He was also DJing
Yeah.
at the end of the festival. So he he just came in and started carrying backline for us.
and just gave us. You have to take care of that. That doesn't
Yeah.
look right on the left, stage left, and you just.
It was it was
Really
kind of
helpful.
surreal to have him there.
Yeah.
We were so small festival, but he really loved our lineup.
Yeah.
And that was why he came basically.
And he kind of came in to like help as a mentor type of person.
That
And
wasn't that wasn't why he.
That wasn't the plan, but that's how it kind of ended.
Exactly.
He was invited primarily to witness the Norwegian scene.
We invited several booking agents and festivals and stuff like that to come and see the bands, book them to your festival. That was kind of the approach. And Walter was one of them, and we have like Freak Valley guys were there. They've been there at the church as well. And several others. The Obelisk blog is a big contributor to the whole vibe.
Absolutely.
He's coming each year.
It helps get the word out there.
And Ole has a big network in Europe. He's been touring a lot with both Tombstones and Savage and shitloads of people No, but we kind of have we play on each other on that things. But it's definitely been helping a lot that you know a lot of these people because you've been booked in as a band.
And
so it's easier to get like, oh, this is Ole from that band. Maybe it's something to look at. So that's been helping us a lot all years to both get bands in and get bookers in and festivals. It's
and
been
also
amazing.
where to put the bar hospitality-wise, which I think we've been really, really good at from 2013. Because you don't need much of stuff, but you need some stuff.
You need a lot of beer.
But you just have to nail the basics, and then every band will be happy. But you need to nail those basics. Otherwise, they're going to be grumpy.
What are the top 3 things that you have to have in the backstage room for a band?
Access to backline for starters. I think that's the main thing. That you have to take that seriously, and you have to have good technicians. They need to feel secure and welcomed at the sound check. And you need to have not awesome get-in food, but you need to just have something available, and you need to give them retreatments they would like.
Yeah.
I
So
think
just to keep them happy.
I think one of the most important things we've done from the start is that we really want to care about the bands.
Yeah.
We want to give them a good feeling of from their coming to the festival to their leaving. So we want to give them like a positive vibe. It shouldn't be like no one should be cocky backstage from our side at least. So from the start, it's impossible. It's important. Meet people with a smile. Give them beer. We always have some homemade lapskaus kind of thing. And vafler with brunost.
Like Norwegian traditional.
Norwegian traditional food. And homemade by us. So we really play on that thing. And
you're gonna have to have like a kind of a national flair on the whole thing. Like, you don't put burgers when you have lapskaus.
Yeah, exactly. They get burgers as well.
They do.
But
keep it simple, but do it with your heart, and they will be happy.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. A lot of that's how it should be done. Just have a good vibe backstage and be happy and don't be too cool, because it's not any point at trying to be too cool. It doesn't help anyone.
Indeed.
That's true. Yeah, and I think that's been people love coming back, and people are really happy when they leave. They tell positive things about us, to other bands and other people, and that's what we want. And we love to be. That's how we are as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not that we pretend to be happy and smiling people, but it doesn't need to be so damn serious. We can have a good time. That's the most. Have a good time always.
Always. Safety always on. Good time always on.
Let the spinal.
But it helps, because after you've been doing it for some years, you start to get mails from bands that you probably would like to contact yourself. But the word, it spreads out. The community it's really small when you count the people that talk to each other.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get the word out that this is the festival proper done, you'll have an awesome time. It's so much easier to get bands out of your natural reach, maybe, to want to come.
And on this poster, you also the picture on the poster is of the actual church. It's not like a random church. This is
exactly. a different artist. It's actually the same guy who did the poster for 2016. This is Sven Hartwein from Germany that we've been used for some stuff.
A couple of years.
Yeah. And he dotted the whole church. It took him quite some days.
He actually drew it by hand.
This is his drawing of the church with his pencil.
He did a fantastic job. I love that poster as well.
Me too. It's beautiful, so iconic but simple. But it speaks what you need to hear.
Yeah. So next year, you added an extra stage to the kind of the, what do you call it? A little
lineup
to the festival.
Whatever.
Program.
And that was the club stage, the Verkstedet.
Yeah.
And why did you want an extra one, and how did you think that it turned out in the end?
It was kind of after some years, especially the last ones, we booked a lot of international bands. And we felt that we kind of fell it apart with the original idea, which was booking, showcasing the Norwegian stage or the Norwegian bands. So we decided to make. We wanted a new stage, and Verkstedet was right across the street from the church, so it was a perfect.
And you did great sound, Amen.
It was a perfect opportunity to have a new stage, and we made that the all Norwegian stage.
Yeah.
So that should be only Norwegian bands, mostly up and coming bands. That's really good.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of a showcase stage with really good bands.
Yeah.
Norwegian bands.
Yeah, because we had the bands that were on that stage, if I remember right, it was
Just start at the bottom and.
Yeah, I can see it better here actually, but I'll put the camera on you again. We had Kanon, Subnoir, Astrosauer, Orsak Oslo, Magma Kammer, Superlynx, Golden Core, Akarash, and Baron Womb.
Yeah.
Superlynx didn't get to play that year because there was a
tragic accident.
Yeah, some tragic accident in the drummer's family, but Cosmos Brenner stepped in last minute.
Did an amazing gig.
Yeah.
And that's like a 120 cap venue. And I think it was packed for every gig, almost. It was super popular venue.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like, how is it going to work? Because it was, for the first time, it was going to be some crashes in the program. You would need to leave a gig to get to the other gig, which kind of was.
That's what I call a luxury problem.
It is definitely, but until this year, our idea was like you should be able to see every gig at the festival, and it's like it's not going to happen anyway. So let's just put on another stage and let's showcase more Norwegian bands, and of course Norwegian bands can play the other stages as well. And that's kind of the idea, to maybe step up in 2 years. Maybe some band at Verkstedet plays the Crypt, or maybe they can play the chapel as well, or the main stage.
Yeah.
So maybe it can be like a
stepping stone,
exactly, for bands to. Yeah,
because
and we also hope that it can motivate bands, that they want to come play at us and to see that they have a fair chance, even if they're not that big, to reach out to
definitely
an international audience.
And we book band only on taste, not. Of course, we look at other things as well for the lineup as a whole, but we book some bands that they don't have a following almost. We just think they sound really good, and that's enough that we can book them if we believe it's good. They don't need 1,000 followers on Facebook or something like that. So. We want to keep that as a thing. That's kind of important, that everyone should have a chance to do it.
Yes, indeed.
But both of us, like the booking wise, I think is that both of us should agree on every band that plays. Ole is definitely the main booker, and he knows the best, but both of us should agree, because we have kind of
that's important.
Yeah, but we have kind of different tastes in the genre space, and the combination of it is what each year of Høstsabbat has been so far.
Indeed.
So that's always good with a compromise instead of like one guy.
It's
much better.
Exactly.
Always.
And that's happened several times, that one of us likes a band and the other, okay, we find another.
And it's also good for the internal dynamics in the long run, to listen to each other.
Yeah, definitely. But both of us are really into the genres, and it's important that we agree on it. So that's been like. That's been one of the things since almost the start, or at least since only us two started doing the booking.
For sure.
It's what the Americans call labor of love.
Yeah.
Kind of, because you guys.
But
are really like you care about it, and like way more than just like you're not doing it for the money.
Definitely.
No, not at
Definitely not. The first 6 years we worked voluntarily
Yeah,
with the festival.
100%.
100% voluntarily with the festival, and we started taking some paying now to get it done.
But of course, when you put so much time and effort into something, like I just know from like just having like a little podcast thing on the side of my regular job, like it takes a shitload of time and effort, and you have to say no to a lot of stuff. because
Definitely.
You want to do one thing, and
Indeed.
you have
Exactly.
to get up early in the morning and just like
Yeah.
do your stuff.
Exactly.
And it's so nice to see that like people care about something, that they're willing to like sink all their time and effort into something that they're not going to get paid for in 6-7 years into the future, which is it's really nice to see, because like that's where all the magic comes from.
Yeah, you need to work for it, and that's what we've done, I feel.
Yeah.
We've been doing it
100%.
slowly, but
100%.
it's really growing good now, and we're selling out. Yeah, we're selling out the festivals at Kulturkirken Jakob, so that's really fun.
That's awesome.
Pre-COVID, at least.
Yeah. Well, I think people are pretty starved on stuff to do by now, so I have a good feeling about the next one at least. But when it comes to the next one, that is for 2022, right?
We actually hope it can be this year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's of course a long shot.
It's a long shot, but it's a shorter shot than last year.
It's a shorter shot than last year.
But it's a like October, then
Yeah,
most
it's,
of the people here in Norway are going to be vaccinated.
Yeah,
and all that
exactly.
stuff. But how are that going to like work with all the international acts and like?
Yeah.
how
I
is
think
that
it
stuff
will.
supposed to-
I think it will narrow it down to Europe at
Yeah.
best, and
Definitely.
Scandinavia pretty much the most likely scenario, and worst not the worst case scenario, but that's only Norwegians.
I think 95% of the lineup will be Scandinavian,
Yeah,
and we have a couple of others on
Yeah.
hold as well that will step in, or
Yeah.
they won't step in. They will be kind of the bigger ones if it's allowed.
Yeah.
So we're kind of making some, what's it called in English, A and B plans.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plan A, Plan B, Plan C for how the corona will turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hope for the best. It sounds a bit weird to say that we hope for it now, but it's a good vibe in Norway, and
I have a
the
good
politicians
feeling this
is positive. So
Yeah.
we hope for the best, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, because the bands that are on the website that you have for like the next one, are they already booked, and like are they coming as long as things open up, or is that kind of like we'll see how it goes?
Yeah.
We have excluded all the US bands, or all of them, but 2 of them. Or-
That's all of them.
That's all of them. Yeah, but that's my point.
Yeah,
It's only
all
2.
of them. It's 2. Yeah.
And, I don't know about all European bands, but the lineup is mostly Scandinavian anyway.
Yeah.
So
We have some
I think
bands in Europe that we hope will be able to play. So we hope that the lineup that is out right now, we will update it. But we hope most of the bands might be able to play this year. But
all of the bands want to come, at least, that's
but
for sure. So if they're allowed, they will
we'll
come.
have some plan B if it's not happening.
Yeah.
So we will fill in.
So we'll kind of see what happens. But
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. That was difficult, but that goes for everyone. It's also difficult for the bands. it's also difficult for the audience. You just have to
it's been a
keep
really
your fingers crossed.
really messed up
Time.
period of time. Yeah, definitely. So.
But apart from that, because that is this year, or in worst case scenario, next year or something. We'll see what happens. But what are your thoughts and hopes and ambitions for the future with the festival? Like, are you thinking about doing more stages and make it into like a city festival in some sort if it grows a lot, or like what do you want it to be in the future?
We kind of like the concept of how it is right now with the 3 stages. We feel we get the intimacy that we like, and the band get their spot. It's you can kind of watch everything if you plan it good. And we're really into keeping it in a bubble, or what I should call it.
If we will expand, I think we will expand in the area that we already in.
Definitely. So we have some ideas, and we've talked to several people already. If things might happen, but we also really like the format that we have now.
There's no main goal to make the festival 3 times as big in audience. That's
there
no
isn't.
goal at all.
So I think more we want to work more with booking single gigs or evenings with several bands, both at the church and elsewhere in town on smaller stages. Do more of that. Yeah. Besides the festival, but
as we have been already for a couple of years.
Kind of a side festival, like type of like 2 days before, 2 days after type.
No, more like
the Oom show and the Electric Wizard show and the, like the Hellas show. Yeah. That was
because
all shows by us in church.
You kind of expanded into being more of a general concert promoter in the rest of the year.
Yeah,
well.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think it's really nice because then you get to keep the scene alive. And
And so we want to work more with that part of it. Yeah. I really like Høstsabbat to be a bit exclusive. It's like if you have a ticket there, you're one of like 400-500 people that's gonna witness it, and I like that thought. That it is a bit exclusive. It's getting sold out 2 months ahead the last 2 years, so it's like I like it a bit. Of course it would be fun to have more in, but still it's I think it's good for the bands and good for the whole vibe that the people out there are really like, yes, we're here. Yeah. I have a ticket. Let's go. Yeah. And the bands are preparing well, and it's a happening kind of. So we can more have several gigs during the year. Maybe we have some similar festival or something during the year as well. We'll see what happens. But we have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, because that really speaks to me as a fan of the music that you guys put on as a festival, and it really it gives you a lot of good hope in a sense. Like if you move to Oslo or Norway in general, that this there are people working on it. Yeah, like we got top people on it that are gonna make sure that we all get good shows to go to all year round. And to be honest, like if you haven't been to Oslo before, it's a great concert city.
It's fantastic,
and you guys are a part of it, and. We've reached about 1.5 hours now, so I think we're gonna.
We need to mention the ones that started this thing with us as well. Sondre, Merlan, Robert, and Jonas Lee. Yeah, fantastic people. They were also a big part of of the starting this whole thing.
First 3 years.
First 3 years, definitely. So they should definitely have a mention, and we have a lot of great people
Indeed.
With us along the whole time. So it's not only us. That's important to say as well. We're several people doing this together.
Well,
less now, but
less now.
we've been a bunch.
Well, that was the podcast for this time, and we make sure that you like and subscribe and comment on the channel. If you have any questions or critics or whatever, just leave it in the comments, and then we'll see what happens. And then I'll be back with some more good stuff. So I'll see you guys. You just watched an episode of Undergrowth here on YouTube, and if you can, please support me on Patreon or with the YouTube membership. That would help a lot in making me make good content for you guys. If I'm gonna make a documentary, cover a festival, go to concerts, interview bands, like all of that costs money in some way. And if you can, please help me out. It's only gonna be like a cup of coffee is still $3. Please. It's gonna go a long way. So if you can, please help me out.